Marvel at the incredible feat unfolding in China, where a lifeless desert is being transformed into a lush green forest. Against all odds, China is defying nature and making the impossible possible. Through new methods and unwavering determination, they're turning a barren land into a thriving oasis. By finding hidden water sources, planting strong plants, and bringing back native animals, they're bringing the desert back to life. Well, the extraordinary endeavor inspires hope and shows us the power of human innovation. Get ready for a captivating story of nature's resilience and mankind's limitless potential. The Chinese government is making an effort to reverse the devastating effects of deforestation by reforesting the desert. In 1978, the Great Green Wall of China initiative was launched by the Chinese government. It was put into place to prevent the Gobi Desert from expanding and to ensure the local inhabitants had access to wood. Rapidly developing deserts already cover 25% of China's land area. Aeolian desertification, brought on by wind erosion after vegetation is destroyed, soil and water loss, brought on by water erosion, is primarily found in the Loess Plateau. Salinization, brought on by inefficient water management, is most common in the karst region of southwestern China. And rock desertification can have devastating effects on the environment. Let's start with where did it first begin? Rapid desertification is a worldwide problem, but China has some of the worst examples. Every year, China loses over 3,600 square kilometers of farmland and grassland to the sands and deserts, according to government officials. However, a new remote sensing study indicated that every year, more than 4 million hectares of land are lost to deserts. Since the 1950s, China has struggled against widespread desertification. Since the early People's Republic's frenzy of nation building, when forests were cut down to make way for new towns and infrastructure to support the country's expanding population. Many areas are vulnerable to wind erosion and deposition from nearby deserts because human civilization has not adequately safeguarded these areas. Due to desertification, people are fleeing their cities. Millions of people are being forced to flee their homes due to environmental factors. Annual economic losses are estimated by the Chinese government to be over $50 billion. What's more, it's making dust and sandstorms even worse. Extreme climatic events, such as mud rains and black winds, are caused by massive dust storms that dwarf the American Dust Bowls of the 1930s. Every year, the wind picks up dust from the northern Chinese deserts and blows it eastward, towards Beijing. Dust covers everything in the cities, from homes and cars to buildings and machinery, and even kills crops. The Chinese government needed to find a solution as the situation escalated, for the sake of the environment and the economy. The government's response was the 1978 establishment of the 2,800-mile 3 North Shelter Belt Project, also known as the Green Wall Project. It was the largest environmental revitalization project ever undertaken. To be sure, how exactly is China reforesting deserts? The Great China Green Wall. China's Great Green Wall initiative involves reforesting vast stretches of desert. By 2050, they hope to have planted 88 million acres of forest surrounding the Great Wall, which is roughly 3,000 miles long and as wide as 900 miles in certain spots. There have been about 66 billion trees planted so far. In recent years, the Chinese government has funded and conducted several new huge afforestation projects, resulting in the largest tree planting initiatives ever documented. The efforts have been successful thus far. The formerly mobile dunes have become stationary, and the intensity of the annual sandstorms has decreased by a fifth between 2009 and 2014. Officials from the Chinese government anticipated in a recent report to the United Nations that the initiative will halt the spread of desertification due to human activities within a decade. The government also promised that by 2050, most of the dry regions will be back to a sustainable and productive state. Greenery is predicted to reach from beyond Beijing to Inner Mongolia by 2010. The Chinese government has implemented a two-pronged strategy to construct the Green Wall. Large areas of land can be seeded via aerial seeding in areas where the soil is less dry, and local farmers and landowners can be compensated to plant shrubs and trees in other areas. At a cost of about $1.2 billion, the Chinese government will establish a monitoring system that includes land surveillance databases and mapping. Along with Korea and Japan, China's government has set up a dust monitoring network. The outer belt of the Green Wall will be a sand fence, ranging in width from 775 to 1,765 feet. Inside, a carefully planned arrangement of sand-tolerant and low-lying plants will produce an artificial environment that will slow the dunes' movement. The government plans to build a gravel platform 6 feet wide to keep sand in place and promote the formation of a soil crust. Numerous studies have been supported by the Chinese government to investigate the potential of genetically modified plants, space-bred grass varieties, chemical dune stabilization, and agricultural approaches that will enable rice to flourish in sandy soil. China has spent a lot of time and energy fighting desertification, slowing the spread of deserts, and helping with global environmental protection. Official data revealed that between 2012 and 2022, China afforested a total of 960 million mu, renovated 165 million mu of grassland, and added or restored more than 12 million mu of wetlands. To combat desertification, the country has implemented effective and practical measures, such as encouraging public participation and enacting policy measures, which have resulted in the transformation of once-arid terrain into forests and grasslands. Official data shows that between 1982 and 2021, Chinese individuals voluntarily planted nearly 78.1 billion trees around China. This day was declared National Tree Planting Day in 1979. Deserts pose a threat to the local ecological environment and people's living space. Hence, officials in the country have initiated several greening programs in those places. A notable case in point is the 3 North Shelter Belt Forest Program, TSFP, a massive reforestation effort. It was started in 1978 and is expected to be finished in 2050, but it has already helped protect the area where people live in the north, northeast, and southwest of China. By the end of 2020, the initiative was expected to have declared and conserved an afforestation area totaling approximately 31.74 million hectares. It has become a green Great Wall that stops sandstorms, saves water and soil, and protects farms from desertification. China's TSFP was a crucial factor in China's 25% share of the global rise in green leaf area from 2000 to 2017. The initiative has been held up as a model for effective international environmental regulation. China has taken steps to strengthen its sand control credentials by initiating big greening initiatives, improving related regulations, and exploring new ways. The country has had legislation in place to combat desertification for decades. China's legal system has a green wall that includes the first statute in the world to combat desertification and a ban on logging in natural forests. Improvements in afforestation and sand management technology are also contributing factors to the country's impressive environmental achievements. Greening techniques, such as drip irrigation and sand barriers, have increased local forest coverage in Minkin, a country between 2 deserts in the northwestern province of Gansu, from 11.52% in 2010 to 18.28% in 2018. China has become a world leader in sand control technologies, said Liu Hujun, director of the International Cooperation Center of the Gansu Desert Control Research Institute. Nearly 1,000 technicians and government officials from 87 countries have been trained with the support of Liu's institute since the 1990s. China has established an international knowledge management center for desertification prevention and control. It has also carried out exchanges and cooperation with Belt and Road countries, and it has actively fulfilled its obligations under the United Nations Convention to Combat Desertification, along with a recent pledge to promote international communication and cooperation to curb desertification. Chinese policymakers have urged efforts to participate in global efforts to control desertification, to aid in sand control in Belt and Road countries, and to facilitate dialogues between countries and the exchange of relevant information. The world's second-largest economy is committed to being a leader in green growth going forward. More than 6 million hectares of sandy land will be newly treated and 1.3 million hectares of rocky desertification land will be harnessed by 2025, as reported by the National Forestry and Grassland Administration of China. The issues. Desertification involves a wide variety of factors. Environmental problems include runoff, overgrazing, wind erosion, drought, smog, and rising temperatures. Some academics and professionals have pointed out that the Chinese government's effort is poorly planned and is failing because of corruption. Very few of the trees that have been planted have survived. Jennifer L. Turner, director of the China Environment Forum, claims that despite widespread efforts to combat desertification through tree planting, few individuals tend to the trees once they are established. Without ongoing human intervention, deforestation can occur if the rate of afforestation exceeds the land's carrying capacity. That's all for the video today. We will be right back with more. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching.